afternoon and welcome to Cliff Keen Arena here in Ann Arbor, Michigan. My name is Cameron Bach, senior national team member, commentating alongside Abbey High School, former Michigan Wolverine and NCAA champion. Today we got an incredible matchup between the number 1 ranked Oklahoma Sooners and the number 4 ranked Michigan Wolverines. We have a head-to-head format today, starting off with Lace Najjar.
This is Lace's season debut on floor. He's been battling some injuries recently, so good to see him back in the lineup.
Starts up with a great first pass. That's a front Randy, a front 2.5 twist. Oh, and an unfortunate fall. He's going to try to stick every pass just to get back.
And he is capable of that. He has a career high of a 14-2 on this event, so definitely capable of putting up a big number, but got to be near perfect here on out.
Lace has dealt with a couple injuries beginning of this season. Glad to see him back out there. Does a great press. Now he's going into his dismount. Oh, and a big step forward. That's going to be a tough score to start for the Wolverines. They're going to try and get it back with 4 more hits.
No doubt about it. Like I said, it's his season debut on this event, so definitely not going to be super excited about that. I know Lace strives for perfection. He's a leader on the team captain, so I know he's not going to be happy with himself, but definitely glad to see him back out there. Next up for the Sooners, we have Matt Bergnoy.
Starts out with a nice double front pike, just a small hop there. Beautiful front double full punch front layout. A nice double layout. Big hop back there. Almost came close to stepping out of bounds, but saved it. Ooh, and did a front tuck full, and I believe that was supposed to be a front layout full out of that. Got a little bit weird on that punch. And a nice dismount to finish. Overall, a pretty clean set.
All right, next up for the Wolverines, we have graduate student Crew Bold. He has a career high of a 14.05, actually a few weeks back at home against Springfield and ASU. Definitely been a staple in the lineup this year on floor for the Wolverines. So we'll see what he's capable of putting up today.
Up next for Michigan on floor exercise, Crew Bold.
Starts off with a nice front full punch double front, just a small hop forward. Big hop back on that double-double. Good height though. Nice stick on the back 2.5 punch front layout. Crew had a pretty good showing at the Winter Cup Nationals last weekend, especially on floor. Saved the stick there. Chest was down just a bit. That'll just be a small deduction. And another stick for Crew. He's just got the dismount now. And almost got the stick. A small hop forward, but overall a great set for Crew. Great to see the Wolverines get back on track.
Next up for the Sooners, we have redshirt freshman Leo Koeke. The Sooners are ranked #1 on this event in the nation, so they're definitely looking to gain some traction here and maybe pull away from the Wolverines, especially on this event, considering it is one of their better ones. A little bit of a tougher start from that first routine from them, but I'm sure Leo will help to get them back on track.
Starts off with a nice double front tuck. It's a nice front tuck full, punch front double full. See, it's an interesting technique derived from much of his junior career training and growing up in Japan. You see similar techniques with a lot of the other Japanese gymnasts internationally.
Leo missed last year actually due to a shoulder injury, so I know they're excited to have him back in the lineups this year. He's been making an impact as a redshirt freshman immediately, so definitely happy to have him back in the squad.
And a nice landing there on the back 2.5 front layout. He's just got the dismount now. And just a small hop back, but a great set from Leo. Also another great set to get the Sooners back on track.
And next up we have Fred Richard following up Krewbold's 14-0, almost a career high today. It's a great score for Crew. Fred has a career high of a 14-8 on this event, and he's actually the NCAA runner-up on this event. So he is definitely capable of matching Crew's score, if not going higher. So excited to see him beat on floor today.
Competing next on the floor exercise from Michigan, Fred Richard.
Starts off with a nice double front tuck. Saw that from Leo in the last routine. Nice front double full punch front layout. A nice half in, half out. Just double back with a full twist. Nice stick there. For both the Sooners and the Wolverines, floor is going to be all about how many passes you can stick. As you can see with Crew's and Leo's last routines, they both went 14.0, sticking multiple passes in their sets.
And this event has been actually a little bit of a struggle for the Wolverines this year. You know, they've had some guys out due to injuries and resting some people here and there. But these last 3 guys in this lineup are awesome. They're all All-Americans, so they're very capable of getting them higher up in the rankings like I know they can.
And Fred finishes with a nice triple full, just one step back. It's going to be a 3/10 deduction, but he's pumped up about that set. Stuck nearly every pass, just the first and the last passes, but it's going to be a great score.
Next up for the Sooners, we have Nico Hamilton, a freshman.
Beating next on 4 exercise from Oklahoma, Nico Hamilton.
Starts off with a nice full punch double front. Got that stick there. Nice front layout, punch front double full. Another stick there with the full in. Very unique side pass, a back half, punch front tuck full. A nice back double full, sticks again, and if he can stick this dismount, this is going big. And a stick. What a routine for Nico Hamilton.
Great routine from the freshman. Next up for the Wolverines, we have sophomore Landon Blixt. And as I said before, Landon is also an All-American on this event, and he scored a 14.45 career high a couple weeks back against Illinois. So if he can dial in these landings, he has the difficulty. If he can dial in these landings just like we saw Nico Hamilton do, I'm sure he can go up and match that score.
Absolutely. Landon did the same routine a couple days ago in practice. He nailed just about every landing. And I know he can do it again today.
Having some technical difficulties on the floor. Coach Shao is fixing up the floor real quick, but we'll be right back with Landon here soon. Update before Landon, huge 14.8 from Nico Hamilton. So we'll see how Landon comes back with his routine here.
Starts off with a nice back double-double. Just a small hop back. Nice stick there on the front full, punch front double full. Just a small hop back in the back half in, half out. Nice wide arm press there for Landon. A nice stick there. The side pass, the back double full. Another stick for Landon. If he can drill this dismount, this is going to match a Nico Hamilton score of 14.8. And just a small hop back, but a great set from Landon. He's happy with that. Great way for the Wolverines to match the Sooners there.
They're going back and forth here. Stick for a stick. Up next for the Sooners, we have fifth-year captain Jack Freeman. He has been a staple all 5 years as a Sooner on the floor and high bar lineup specifically. He competed at Winter Cup last weekend on high bar, which we will see him on later in the meet.
Starts out with a double front. Big hop forward. There's a front double full punch layout. A little bit low landing there on that front layout. A nice double-double, just a slight foot shift on that landing. Nice stick there on the back 2.5 punch front full. It's just got the dismount now. And a good triple full to finish that set. Didn't stick as many passes as some of his teammates, but overall, a very clean routine from Jack Freeman.
Last up for the Wolverines, we have fifth-year captain Paul Judah. He's also an All-American on this event, and he has a career high of a 15-0. So he's another one who's very capable of scoring in the high 14s, even into the 15s, as he's done in the past.
Absolutely. For Paul today, it's going to be all about the sticks. If he can stick at least, I'd say 3 of his passes, he's going to get a huge score.
On floor exercise for Michigan, Paul Judah.
And he is capable of sticking darn near every pass, too. As we saw last year at U.S. Championships,
This is
he
true.
stuck every single pass. He has those cat-like abilities to hone in on those landings, so hopefully he can do that here.
A little low landing there on the front double pike, saved it really well. Nice front handspring, front Randy. Nice front layout, punch front double full, just a small hop back. He's gonna need to stick some of these later passes now. And there it is, there's that stick. And this is what Paul is known for, the flares here, the flare sequence. Look at the height there. It's a crowd pleaser for sure. Looked like his foot slid out just a tad from him, but saved it well. Just the dismount now. And a nice finish for Paul Judah. A couple low landings, probably not as many sticks as he would want, but he's happy with that. It's an upgraded routine for him.
He's getting the crowd going here. And last up for the Sooners, we have Emery Dodanley, and he's ranked #1 on the floor. So they're hoping for a huge number here. They've had a great four people to set him up to anchor this lineup. And he has a 3-score average of a 15.017. And for reference, no one scored above a 14.8 today, and his average is higher than that. So
yeah, this is going to be a huge set.
he starts from a 5.9, so a huge start value here on the floor.
For exercise, Emery Dodanley.
Starts off with a huge stick on the laid out double-double. Such a difficult skill. It's a nice back 1.5 punch front double full.
Watch his technique, too. He spots everything. And that's why
Another
he sticks
stick.
it. Cool thing about Emery, he is a member of the Turkish national team. Grew up training in Canada before coming to OU, but is making his Olympic stake with the Turkish national team.
Does a very difficult front layout punch Randy. So difficult to do that late in the routine.
Some people have a hard time doing that first pass, and he's doing it almost as his last.
And finishes up with a nice triple fold, just a small hop back, but that's going to be a huge score and most likely put the Sooners out on top.
That was a great first rotation. You can tell both these teams are in it to win it. I mean, you have one great routine from the Wolverines, and the Sooners come back, match them, if not go above, and then right back with the Wolverines, same thing. So this is going to be a very interesting meet today. See who can finish out on top.
Absolutely.
We're going to head over to Pommel Horse once we get Emery's score in, and this is where the Sooners are ranked number 1 and the Wolverines are ranked number 4.
The huge 14.9 for Emery there in that last floor set. That elevates the Sooners to a 70.05 on the floor. The Wolverines get a 69.35. Also a great team score.
Fans, at this time, we would like to recognize Landon Blake for his outstanding performance today on our floor exercise. All right, fans, it's time to get up on your feet. Who wants a free t-shirt?
So starting out on horse, since we started with Michigan on the floor exercise, we will be starting with the Sooners. First up for them is Kelton Christensen.
On today's second rotation, both teams will be competing on the Pommel Horse. Up first from Oklahoma, Kelton Christensen.
And for these two teams today, it's just going to be about who can stay on the horse. I think whatever team gets 5 for 5 hits on pommels is going to come out on top, at least for this event.
The Sooners do have a little bit of an advantage on this event because they have the number 1 ranked Ignacio Yockers, who will be anchoring their lineup. And he starts from a 6.5, so if he can hit that routine, it's capable of hitting a 16.5, assuming it's perfect, which is a big assumption. But they have a huge advantage there. So that means that from the Wolverines, we're going to have to see clean, very clean swinging routines that stay on the horse.
Kelton starts here with a nice double scissor, picks up into the circles. Does a nice flop on the one pommel. And a Russian flop, kind of scraped his legs there just a bit. Oh, and he's fighting. Good save there, though. Does a nice Roth travel. Just the dismount. Oh, and he just pushes it off there. Kind of low circles going into the dismount. But as I said before, it's all about staying on the horse. And that was a good fight from Kelton.
And first up for the Wolverines, we have Logan McEwen. He has a career high of a 13.35 here, a couple weeks back at home against Simpson at ASU. Now, he doesn't have a super high start value, but he is very consistent on this event and definitely someone that you want to start off your lineup.
Logan waiting to go for his routine, just waiting for the judges' scores.
Now, beyond staying on the horse, obviously you want to stay on, what are a couple other things that you look for on this event that you see in those horse specialists?
I think a good routine on horse accompanies a nice extended swing, no pike in the hips, no scraping the horse. I think if you do those things, stay on the horse, you're getting a good score. Starts out with a nice scissor travel down, picks up in a circle. Goes into his flop elements, very nice, very extended. Just a little pike there on that last circle. Nice legs glued together. Does a couple traveling skills, and now just the dismount. And throws it up there. A great set for Logan to start off the Wolverines.
Don't want to jinx it, but that might be the best set we've seen from him all year.
Absolutely.
We'll see what it scores. You never know with horse. Sometimes the judges just see something that you don't from an audience's point of view. So we'll see what they do with that. Great routine from Logan. Next up for the Sooners, we have Tyler Flores. He actually has a twin brother on the team. Unfortunately, he is not here, though. He got injured last week at Winter Cup, so we unfortunately won't see him today. But for now, we will see Tyler on the horse.
Up next on the Pommel horse from Oklahoma, Tyler Flores.
He has a season high of a 14-1 on this event. Starts from a 5-1, so we'll see if he's able to match that. It's a very good score on Pommel horse.
Does a very difficult double Russian flop. A 360 Russian on one pommel. Into some nice Stockley elements. And this is clean so far. And throws, oh, and didn't get the dismount around. He's not going to get credit for that dismount. He fell off on the wrong way, the wrong side of the horse. He's going to have to repeat that. It was a great set up until the dismount. Oh, and it looks like either the judges did give him credit, or he's just taking the penalty for not redoing the dismount. Either way, a large error on the dismount, but clean up until then.
Next up for the Wolverines, we have sophomore Eric Ho. And Eric is newer to this lineup. He's only been in one lineup before now, and he scored a 13.15 in his season debut on this event. So he's another one who doesn't have quite as high of a start value as you'll see from people later in the lineup, but he again has been consistently hitting, and that's why he earned himself a spot in this lineup.
Competing next on the Pommel horse from Michigan, Eric Ho.
Starts up with a nice scissor, picks up into circles. Goes into a D Russian flop, just a little scrape there on the pommels. Into some nice Stockley elements. Just has the travels left and the dismount. And throws up the dismount, doesn't get the full pirouette for the full dismount credit. But a C dismount nonetheless. That was a good set from Eric.
Next up for the Sooners, we have Fuzzy Bennis, and he is their star-studded all-arounder here for the Sooners. He actually made national team last weekend when he competed at the Winter Cup. Not doing the all-around today, because he did compete last weekend, but he has a career high of a 14.15 on this event. Not his highest scoring event, but again, another staple in this lineup.
It's really great to see Fuzzy back in the competition floor after he had a couple of injuries plaguing him last year. Kind of kept him out of the running of everything. He's been having an incredible season so far.
Competing next on the Pommel horse from Oklahoma, Fuzzy Bennis.
Starts up with a nice scissor full up into the middle. Does Stockley flops, just a little bit pike in his hips going throughout the routine, but he's making it work and does a 360 Russian on that one pommel. Very nice Russian type elements. Another Roth, just a little leg split there. And throws up the dismount, does the full spin. That's an E value dismount. And he's pumped about that. Not the cleanest routine, but he stayed on. No major errors, and that's going to be a big score for them.
Next up for the Wolverines, we have freshman Kevin Chow. He's a specialist on this event, and you'll notice all those things that Cameron was pointing out earlier about a nice long swing, no pike in the hips, and someone like this tall horse specialist. He has a career high of a 13.6.
There's a nice McCulloch element named after former Wolverine Sam McCulloch. Very nice flops from Kevin. You can see that extended swing. Now it goes into his flared Magyar and Sabato. Very good flares. Very nice line. Just has the Russian dismount. And flanks it up there. A great hit from Kevin Chow to get the Wolverines back on track. He's happy with that. The team's happy.
always great to see a freshman come out week in and week out and deliver for the team.
Absolutely.
Now these last two guys for the Sooners are awesome on this event. First up for them, we have Zach Nunez. He's ranked 4th on this event. He's also another great all-arounder. Hasn't competed in the all-around so far this season, but he has competed on the horse, scoring as high as a 14.8. So that's a huge number. I know they would love to have a huge number like that in their lineup. So we'll see if he's able to pull that out today.
Up next on the Pommel horse from Oklahoma, Zach Nunez.
Starts off with a nice scissor up into the middle. Really difficult sewn, which is a full spin on one hand. Nice Russian flop back into the middle. Very nice Stockley elements. Got off a little bit there, but saved it well. Got a big split on the Roth travel. He's fighting through this set. And throws up the dismount. Almost didn't even make that last 180 twist. But a great set from Zach Nunez. That's a Pommel guy right there.
Absolutely, and even despite some of the leg separations and, fighting through that dismount, he does start from a 5'9", so he can afford a couple of those mistakes and still put up a big number. Next up for the Wolverines, we have another horse specialist, Zach Granados. He's a sophomore. He has a career high of a 13.9 here. Zach has been working diligently on his form on this event. He has a nice swing. You'll notice he is a Pommel guy, but they've been really working on his leg form, to pointing his toes throughout the entire routine. No leg separation. So we'll see if he's able to put that together in competition setting.
Up next for Michigan, on the Pommel horse, Zach Granados.
Zach starting out with a nice scissor. Nice, very difficult Vommen, which is basically a double Tong Fei travel. Super difficult. Zach's got the really long arms, so a lot of these travels down the horse. Oh! And a fall on the sewn element. We just saw Zach Nunez do. Super difficult element.
Talking with head coach Shao to see if he should repeat the skill, what the rest of the routine will look like, to ensure that he still has a high enough start value to put up a decent number despite the fall.
Does a half care back down and then back up. It's going to be about half the value of that original skill he fell on. And finishes the set with a nice dismount, nice flank off the horse. Of course, not what he wanted, but a good finish for Zach.
He has been such a consistent competitor for them. About halfway into his freshman year season and into his sophomore season, he's been hitting for them consistently. So a slip up here and there, no big deal. I know he'll get back in the gym and fix that. And last up, we have the number 1 ranked Ignacio Yockers. This guy, he starts from a 6'5" and is capable of scoring a 15.45, which he scored a couple weeks ago against Cal. So he is definitely capable of putting up a huge number here.
Ignacio competed at the Winter Cup last weekend. Didn't quite have the performance that I think he wanted. So I know he's ready to go, ready to hit another set here. Starts out with a nice scissor. Does 1, 2, 3 Russians on one pommel. Super difficult into that full care element that we've seen the last 2 gymnasts do. Very nice Stockley flops. Very nice woo travel down the horse. And a Roth travel back down to the other side. Very nice triple Russian. Just got a couple more travels, and if you can throw up this dismount. Oh, and he just looked like he gassed out a little bit at the end there. I was about to say this was going to be an incredible routine. And it was looking very clean up until the dismount. The energy just wasn't quite there.
Similar to Zach, obviously a fall or mistakes are never ideal, but again, he does have such a high start value that even despite a fall, he still can manage to put up a pretty decent score here if he finishes out the rest of the routine nice and clean.
And he throws up a nice dismount. Good finish for Ignacio. I know he's a little bit upset with that, but it's still going to be a high score for the Sooners.
And then last up for the Wolverines, we're seeing 5th-year Paul Judah again. He's an NCAA All-American on this event, and actually the runner-up in 2022. So if you want someone following a fall in your lineup, you want Paul Judah to be in that spot because he can definitely hit here. He's scored as high as a 14.35 on this event, and he's consistent. So definitely your guy to follow up. It's a little bit of a tough routine from Zach.
And this is going to be an exciting routine. Very different from the first 4 that we've seen from Michigan. Paul's routine is comprised of mostly flare elements, which is super unique and definitely a crowd pleaser, just like the floor. Paul starting out with a nice couple of scissors. Now here he's going to pick up into those flares and get going. And a huge Buznari. Super difficult element. And I'm just going to let this routine speak for itself. Just the dismount now. And he nails it. An incredible routine from Paul. He's hyping up the crowd. A great way for the Wolverines to finish on the horse. Probably one of the best routines I've ever seen him do.
That's the great thing about Paul, too. You know, a fall in front of you is not easy to follow. That almost motivates him to do even better, which is a sign of a true competitor there. So great routine from Paul, great finish for the Wolverines on that event. So we're waiting for the last 2 scores in from Yockers and Judah, but we'll head over to rings where the Wolverines are ranked number 2 and the Sooners are ranked number 5.
As we said before, Ignacio Yakers coming in with a 13.9, even with a fall, which says a lot to his high difficulty score and also the fact that most of his routine was executed very well. And a huge 14.75 from Paul Judah. What a way to cap off the rotation for the Wolverines, putting them only 1/10 below Oklahoma on the horse.
That was huge. They needed that to stay in this competition with the Sooners.
Paul Judah for his outstanding performance on the Pommel horse. All right, fans, once again, get up on your feet. Who wants a free t-shirt?
And after two events, Oklahoma is leading Michigan 137.75 to 136.95.
So now we're going to go back to starting with the Wolverines. They're going to put up sophomore Landon Blixt in that number one spot for them. His career high is a 13.45 on this event. He has very clean gymnastics. It's a matter if he can hold those strength elements and make it look easy.
A slight correction. Michigan is now sitting at a 137.05. They got an extra 10th back on the Pommel horse.
For today's third rotation, both teams will compete on the rings. Up first, from Michigan, Landon Blixt.
Landon starting out with a nice back uprise to straddle planche. Shoots to the handstand, very clean, very controlled. Nice front giant to handstand. Goes into the tuck and the pike Yamawakis, very clean. And a nice double-double to finish for Landon and to start the Wolverines off on rings. He's going to get about a 3/10 deduction, maybe more for that hop forward. But overall, a great routine for Landon.
And then first up for the Sooners, we have senior Matt Burgoyne. He has a career high and season high of a 13.65 on this event. So pretty similar to Landon's score, so this should be a good little head-to-head matchup we have between the first two guys on each team.
Competing first on the rings from Oklahoma, Matt Burgoyne.
Starts off with a nice back uprise to straight planche, looking very strong. tuck Yamawaki. Oh. And a struggle there. The back giant in the handstand. It's going to be a major deduction. Cleans it up nicely there with the front giant to handstand. And finishes with a nice layout, half in, half out dismount, just a hop forward. Had a good start to that routine, but that major error in the handstand will cost him.
Second up for the Wolverines, we have senior Chris Reed, and he's ranked 6th nationally on this event with a 3-score average of a 13.983. So he's capable of putting up as high as a 14.35 on this event, and if the Wolverines want to pull away from the Sooners at any point, this is the event to do it. They have a little bit of a leg up on the Sooners here. They have Chris Reed, and then at the end of the lineup, they have number 1 ranked Javier Alfonso, who's capable of scoring very high as well.
From Michigan, Chris Reed.
Chris is the younger brother of Ann Arbor legend James Reed, also a rings man. Starts up with a nice back of rise to straight planche. Lowers into the Maltese, perfectly held. Just another back of rise to the Maltese. Very nice position there. Just a back up rise to handstand. Just a slight bobble on that back giant to handstand. Goes into the tuck Yamawaki, the pike Yamawaki. A little bit slow there on the pike Yamawaki. That's going to be a deduction. And now he's just got the dismount. Finishes with a nice 1.5 twisting double back, small hop forward. And he's excited for that routine. Very clean set from Chris Reed.
Second up for the Sooners, we're again seeing Fuzzy Binnis. He's pretty good at this event. He has a season high of a 13.7. Last weekend he did very well on this event at the Winter Cup. Last event helped secure a place on that senior national team. So he's definitely capable of getting them back on track after a little bit of a mishap in the first routine.
Competing second on the rings from Oklahoma, Fuzzy Dennis.
Starts out with a nice kip to L hold. Rolls into the back of rise straddle planche. To a nice pike Yamawaki into a tuck Yamawaki. And we're seeing a very similar routine from Fuzzy as we did with Landon. Low start value, just very clean, very consistent, nice lines. Nice front giant to handstand, just a small arch in the back. Nice back giant to handstand. And a double-double sticks the dismount. What a great set for Fuzzy.
Third up for the Wolverines, we have junior Rithik Puri. He has a career high of a 13.75 on this event and has been a staple in this lineup so far this year. The good thing about Rithik, too, is he's such a role player and one of those guys that if you need him to go in on almost any event, he can put up a score that may not be your highest in the lineup, but you know he's going to hit. So he's a very reliable competitor, and like I said, he's been hitting very well on this event specifically this year. So hopefully they're looking for another good routine from him here.
And Rithik's a strong guy here. He's got a lot of strength early on in his set. For Rithik here, it's all about the holds and the positions. There's a nice back of rise to straight planche. Lowers to the Maltese. Nice, another back of rise to Maltese. Maybe a little bit low there on the position. Presses into another straight planche. So strong. Nice front giant handstand. Back giant handstand, just a little wobble there in the handstand. And kicks out just a bit early. It was a good routine. Had 2 steps on the dismount. But glad he saved that dismount.
To go up against that for the Sooners, we have junior Nikolai Kolesnikov. He has a season high of a 13.35 on this event, which is also his career high. Struggled a little bit a few weeks back against Simpson, only scoring a 12.9, but he is capable of scoring up in those 13s. So following Fuzzy Bennis's 13.6, they're hoping for another good score.
And as we said before, the Sooners don't have as much difficulty as the Wolverines on the rings. So if they're going to keep up with them here on this event, it's going to be clean and consistent routines. Kips to a cross, very nice position. Does another kip up to an L hold. Lowers to another cross.
Always a fan favorite there.
Just a little arm bend there in the press to handstand. Just flows into some nice tuck and pike Yamawakis. Oh! It didn't quite make up the giant there. Looked like he got caught up a little bit on the last Yamawaki, and it affected his swing into the front giant. Talking with head coach Mark Williams about what to do next. Gets that front giant again that he fell on the last time. And a nice back giant. And does a super unique double pike half out. A little low on the landing, but
Definitely not the routine that they wanted, but head coach Mark Williams expects a lot from these guys, so I know that by the time postseason and NCAA's rolls around, they will have that routine dialed in. ready to compete with the best in the nation. And next up for the Wolverines, we have Fred Richard. He's an All-American on this event with a scoring potential as high as a 14.466, which he got last year at the NCAA Championships. So he's another one who's capable of scoring very high on this event. And as we said earlier, if they're wanting to pull away, maybe pull into the lead, this is the event to do it, especially with a little misstep from the Sooners in that last routine.
Up next for Michigan, Wolverines, Fred Richard.
Fred starting out with a nice back abreast to straight plunge. And lowers into the Maltese. One of the best Malteses I've ever seen him do. Nice tuck Yamawaki into the pike Yamawaki. Closes into the straight plunge. Very nice shoot to handstand, and this is a very clean set so far. Nice front giant. And just one step back on that dismount, but a great set from Fred Richard.
And then next up for the Sooners, we have Idriel Perales. And he's been seen in this lineup on the still rings at every single meet this season, scoring as high as a 14-0. And man, could the Sooners use that score right now.
Competing next down the rings in Oklahoma, Idriel Perales Valencia.
Starts off with a very nice kip to Maltese. Looks like a super strong position. Into another back abreast Maltese. Just a little wiggle there. Nice back abreast to handstand. Does a nice pike Yamawaki and tuck Yamawaki. And just one big step forward, but overall, great set for Idriel.
Great way to get the Sooners back on track there.
He was kind of hitting himself after that routine because he didn't have his stirrups on in his pants. Which could be a deduction. I don't think the judges will take it here. We're just at a dual meet, but a little mental error there. Always a funny one.
You know head coach Mark Williams is not happy about that. Those are the silly mistakes that can happen. And I can assure you that will probably never happen again. And then last up for the Wolverines, we have two-time All-American. He's ranked #1 right now, Javier Alfonso. He scored a 14.55 last weekend at Winter Cup with an incredible routine. So when he hits, man, this can be a huge score.
And Javi's doing a set. It's a 6-0 star value. It's up there with some of the best guys in the world.
Final competitor today on the rings from Michigan, Javier Alfonso.
Goes into the nice Azarian Maltese. Incredible strength. Very nice back of rise to invert. Into the back of rise Maltese. Look at the strength on this guy. Nice tuck Yamawaki, pike Yamawaki. Into a back of rise straight planche. Little archy there on the planche. Into a nice Azarian cross. It's a nice back of rise handstand. A little slow getting to that handstand. And a stick for Javier Alfonso. What a routine. Almost didn't salute to the judge. He was so animated there.
He's been told to salute to the judges so many times too, so I know Coach Jordan Gerenstrom is going to be a little upset with him. But a great routine for Javi. It's going to get a huge number there. And then last up for the Sooners, we have Zach Marks. He's a senior, and he's another one who's a staple in this lineup. He's competed at almost every meet so far this season, scoring as high as a 13.75. So he's another one that they really need a big number from here if they want to catch up to the Wolverines before heading into the next rotation.
And a huge 15.05 from Javier Alfonso.
Wow. Almost matching his career high there. What a monster rotation for the Wolverines. Having a little bit of a judging conference here. We're still waiting on Idriel's score. Hasn't come in quite yet, so. All right, Zach Marks.
Starts out with a nice back of rise to straight plan. Lowers into a Maltese. Very nice position. There's a nice back of rise to Maltese there. Just a little fight there on the back of rise to handstand. Pike Yamawaki, tuck Yamawaki. Little labored there. Oh, and went for the back of rise parallel. Almost second guessed himself. But saves it well. And finishes with a nice laid out half in, half out. Just a step forward. With the exception of that interesting back of rise to straddle L, that was a good routine from Mark. And now all the competitors will be doing a 6-minute one-touch for the last 3 events. We will take a short break and be back soon with Big Ten men's gymnastics. are back with Michigan versus Oklahoma. After 3 events, Michigan is leading Oklahoma 206.8 to 201.45. After a great rings rotation by the Wolverines and kind of a disaster rotation for the Sooners on the rings. They started off hot on the floor. Both the teams tied on pommels, but a couple falls and some low start values really plagued them on rings.
We're going to start off with the Sooners here. Freshman Tyler Flores scored as high as a 14.45 this season. So
and a nice cause full, just one hop back. Very clean start for the Sooners there.
And they're ranked second nationally on this event, so if they're wanting to come back from that rings rotation, this is the event that they can do it on, but they got to dial in those landings like they're so accustomed to. And then first up for the Wolverines, we have junior captain Lace Najar. This is also his season debut on this event. His career high is a 14.1. He'll be doing a Yurchenko style vault, which is different than what we just saw from Tyler.
Up first for Michigan on the ball, Lace Najar.
And just a hop forward there. Lace wanted to stick on that, but a very nice Yurchenko double full to start.
Very clean in the air, too. Second up for the Sooners, we have Leo Koeke. And he has a season and career high of a 14.9 on this event. And I know he wants that stick just as much as his teammates do, so hopefully he can do that here for the Sooners.
Does a nice cause 1.5, just a step forward there. A little bit of a low landing, but great to keep the Sooners back on track.
And second up for the Wolverines, we have sophomore Landon Blixt. He has a career high of a 14.875 on his vault, and he also does a Yurchenko style vault that we saw from Lace, the lead off for the Wolverines, but adds another half twist. So he struggled a little bit this season with consistency, but when he hits this vault, it's awesome.
Very nice ball from Landon. Just a hop out there past the boundary. He's going to get a 1/10 neutral deduction, but a very nice landing and a great vault for Landon.
It's one of the best ones we've seen from him all season, so I know he's going to be excited about that. And then third up for the Sooners, we have Fuzzy Bennis. He scored a 14.85 against Cal a few weeks back. So he's another one. This OU vault lineup is stacked with high career highs, high season highs, and they need those scores right now. So we'll see what Fuzzy does here.
He was just at the Winter Cup last weekend. I saw him stick it in one day of competition and again in the warm-ups. Let's see if he can do it again here today. And just a hop forward, but a very nice vault from Fuzzy.
Third up for the Wolverines, we have two-time All-American David Wolma. He's currently ranked third in the nation on this event with a three-score average of a 14.833. And this guy knows how to stick. So I think he's stuck all but 2 vaults so far this year, so we'll see if he's able to do that again.
And he does it again. What a machine.
I mean, I don't know how he does that. And I said it the last time we were on here, he does that all the time, in practice, in meets, all the time.
All the time. Wow.
That fired up the Wolverines. Great vault from David. And up next for the Sooners, we have Max Bereznev. He has a career high of a 15.0.
Max is going to be doing the Yurchenko 2.5, the same vault that Landon Blix did just earlier.
No sticks so far for the Sooners, so I know they're looking for one here.
And just a step back, looked like his hand slipped a little bit on the table. Got the twist around, luckily it'll still be a fine score, but didn't quite get the block that he wanted there, I don't think.
Fourth up for the Wolverines, we have Frederick Flips. He's doing the same cause vault that we've been seeing for the past couple guys. His career high of a 14.9 here. In the last home meet, he drilled this vault. Nailed the landing. So I know this crowd would love to see that vault again, especially after David Wolma's huge 14.9.
And just 1/10, one step back for Fred. Very nice vault.
He seems happy with it. You could tell he wanted that stick. And the final vaulter for the Sooners, we have Emery Dodanley again. He has a season and career high of a 14.9. They need that right now. I know that this team is a sticking machine on this event, so I know they aren't happy with no stuck landings yet. So hopefully Emery can end off this rotation on a good note for them.
And a big hop forward for Emery. Huge height off the table on that vault.
And super clean too. I love how tight his legs were on the pre-flight and in the air on that vault. Last up on vault for the Wolverines, we have Paul Judah. He's the NCAA champion on this event in 2022. And at the last home meet, he scored a 15.1. And for reference, that is 1/10 of a point away from perfection. So it'd be awesome to see that again, cap off this already awesome rotation for both teams.
And just a hop back for Paul. Yeah, he wanted that stick a little bit too much.
Still a beautiful vault. Very clean in the air, similar to what we saw from Emery on the Sooners.
So we'll wait for Paul Jew to score there. But already from the looks of it, it looks like Michigan's going to edge out Oklahoma on vault by a couple tenths.
Not a bad rotation for the Sooners, but definitely not what they are fully capable of. They are the number 1 ranked team they're the number 2 ranked team on that event. So they are capable of scoring a little bit higher, but overall still a very good rotation that they should be happy with. We will head over to the parallel bars, where we'll be starting off with the Wolverines, and they are ranked number 1 on this event. The Sooners are ranked number 3, so this could be another event where Michigan starts to chip away at that score.
And these last 2 events, P-bars and high bar, are always where the meet gets exciting. So many opportunities for great sets, also so many opportunities for mistakes, especially on high bar. So lots of things could happen right now.
The meet is not over yet, not even close. So as I said, we will be starting off with the Wolverines. Leading them off is Logan McEwen, and he's ranked 3rd on this event. And he really broke into this lineup predominantly this year. He's been seen in the lineup before, but he has been on fire on this event this year. His career high is a 14.6, and his 3-score average is a 14.45. So that's huge, and definitely a big number to start the lineup off with. He has some unique skills in here too, so it'll be a very fun routine to get the Wolverines started.
For today's 5th rotation, both teams will compete on the parallel bars. Up first from Michigan, Logan McEwen.
Logan starting out with a nice Hamna. Very nice peach half and a peach handstand, just a slight arch in the back. Does a super unique element. I'm not even quite sure what it's called, but it's a D-value skill. We never really see it. It's a nice Diamondov, Stutz, and just the dust mount now. And almost got the stick. He's been really working that dismount in the gym. He's been having some trouble with it in the past couple meets, but he got it down there. Great set from Logan to start out for the Wolverines.
And to start off the Sooners, we're seeing again freshman Tyler Flores. He's scored as high as a 13.75 so far this year. So definitely a good person to start them off. He's been a steady scorer, scoring in the 13s in all the lineups he's been in. So if he can hit here, it'll be a good start for the Sooners on this event.
Competing first for Oklahoma on the parallel bars, Tyler Flores.
Jumps into a nice back of Bryce handstand to start his routine. Peach handstand, little arm bend there on the way up. And a very difficult Diom 1 1/4. Really snuck in that last quarter turn there. Nice Healy. Very nice support elements. like he's just got the dismount now. Oh, and he just falls back. Didn't quite get the kick out that he needed to stick the dismount. That's going to be a full point and a fall. A great routine up until that point, though.
He is only a freshman, so it can be intimidating coming to away environments. You're not in your own equipment, you aren't in your home turf. So definitely a bright future for him. Great routine, like Cameron said, leading up to the dismount. Looking forward to watching him in years to come. Second up for the Wolverines, we have Javier Alfonso. He has a career high of a 14-0 on this event. Hasn't been in the lineup every single weekend, but what you'll notice about Javi is that he, similar to Rings, has exquisite form on this event. Toes pointed, legs passed straight on everything that he does. So very beautiful gymnastics to watch. Looking for a hit here.
Up next for Michigan on the parallel bars, Javier Alfonso.
There's a nice Healy to start. Oh, and struggles with that peach to handstand. Makes it work, but that's going to be a big deduction. Very nice Moita support to the end. Very nice Bobzar through the bars. He's had some trouble with that scale in the past, so it was great to see him do that. Very nice to pelt, and almost planges to a handstand. You can see that ring strength coming to play here. And a nice double pike. Slams it down. A few checks in there, a few balance checks, and a little struggle on the peach, but overall a great set from Javier.
Next up for the Sooners, we have senior Zach Nunez. He scored as high as a 13.85 this season on this event. He's been in and out of this lineup. Definitely a high scoring potential here.
Up next for Oklahoma on the parallel bars, Ignacio Guthers.
Zach Manning with a back hip rise handstand. Very nice peach to handstand. Some nice support elements. Some Moy to the end. A lot of his handstands have been a little bit of a struggle to get up to that handstand position, but he's making it work. Very nice peach to support, very clean. And just the dismount now. Oh, and almost got the stick. Very nice double pike and very nice routine from Zach Nunez.
Third up for the Wolverines, we have Lace Najar. He competed at the last home meet on this event, but only did a layout dismount, has been dealing with some nagging aches and pains, so just wanted to play it safe. That being said, he still had one of the highest scores of the lineup, despite not having what we call a real dismount. So he will be doing that real dismount today. He's capable of scoring as high as a 14.5. Did that last year, so excited to see Lace at full strength here on this event.
Up next, finishing on the middle of ours, Lace Shaw.
Lace starts out again with the back of brace handstand. Very common mounting skill for a lot of these college guys. Does an incredible giant Diamond-off. Very unique skill. Takes a step forward on that giant. Little off balance there. Nice peach to handstand. Very nice stutz to the one rail. Nice back toss. And a stutz. Can he get the dismount down? Oh, and he just rolls out of it. A great routine for Lace up until the dismount. Very similar vibe to Tyler Flores' routine. Just didn't kick out of that double pike at the end.
Next up for the Sooners, we have freshman Nico Hamilton. He's competed on this event a couple times so far this year. He scored as high as a 13.8 at the beginning of the season. Saw him back on floor a few rotations ago, had an awesome routine for them. So looking to keep that momentum going into this event.
Peach handstand. Giant. Moy to the end. Just had a little step on that peach to handstand, but overall clean so far. To pelt. Paused a little bit when he caught. That's going to be a deduction. Very nice stutz to handstand. Nice peach to support. A lot of the college guys typically do a peach to handstand and then a peach to the support so that they can get a press handstand in there. And a nice double pike, just a small tenth of a hop. A good hit for Oklahoma.
And then fourth up for the Wolverines, we have senior Evgeny Semeniuk. So he's been kind of in and out of the lineup this year as well. The nature of it being an Olympic year. He is from Milton, Ontario, so he's been vying for a spot on that Canadian national team, which he earned himself a spot on last weekend while he was away at Elite Canada Championships. So he's been traveling back and forth between Canada and Michigan to get the job done there. So I know they're glad to have him back for the weekend after his quick trip to Canada.
And Yevgeny has the ability to go huge on this routine. He has a pretty high start value, but he's also super clean. Does very nice peach work. Very nice support elements.
Up next for Michigan.
Let's see what they can do today. Starts up with a nice Healy. Beautiful line on the handstand. Beautiful peach half to handstand. Another peach to handstand. Just flawless. Very nice front 1 1/4. Scoops into a huge Bobzar down the bars. Gets back into the middle with it to Pelt. Just a few more skills here. And just a hop forward on that double pike, but a great set from Evgeny. And a great way to bring the Wolverines back on track there. And that's going to be a great score.
To follow that up for the Sooners, we have Fuzzy Bennis. This is his last event of the day. As I said, he's not doing all around this weekend after competing at the Winter Cup last weekend. He's currently ranked 2nd on this event. So this guy is definitely a good person to keep the momentum going. After the first routine, not exactly what they wanted, but the last 2 have been great for the Sooners, and he's going to keep that momentum going. He has a career high of a 14-8 on this event, which he actually scored at the beginning of the season. So he's fully capable of doing that, and I know that him as well as Mark Williams would love to see that score right here.
And they're going to need some big scores because they're operating at a pretty hefty deficit to Michigan. So if they want to make this one close, he's going to have to hit here. Starts out with a nice back of Bryce handstand. Very nice peach half. And another nice peach handstand. Very nice Suarez, which is a giant with a back half, catching the bars again. Very nice support elements, Healy in the stutz. And a huge double front half dismount. A very interesting way of him doing it too. He twisted really early on the first flip. Spotted the ground super early and gave him that good landing. And that was a great routine.
Last up for the Wolverines, we have 5th-year Crew Bold, and he's currently ranked 4th on this event. So right behind teammate Logan McEwen, has a career high of 14.5. And you'll notice with Crew on this event, and especially on high bar, which I don't believe we'll be seeing him on today, he throws some big skills, and he does them very well. He has a huge dismount, double front dismount that we'll see at the end. He's really trying to hone in on that landing, and if he can stick that, he's capable of scoring every bit of that 14.5.
Crew starts off with a nice Hamna element. There's a nice peach half to handstand. There's another peach to handstand, just a slightly off the handstand there. Very nice giant Diamond off the handstand. Little wobble there on the stutz, but very nice. And he's just got the press and the dismount. And he sticks it. Crew Bolt slamming that P-bar routine. Wow.
You can hear the crowd from that one. The team, the crowd, everyone's fired up here in Cliff Keen.
What a way for the Wolverines to finish up that P-bar rotation. Even with the fall from Lace Najjar in the middle, they got it back. The 14-5 from Evgeny, and most likely another huge score from Crew Bold.
And that's where experience comes into play. Because, like I said earlier, it is not easy to follow up a fall, especially knowing that all 5 of your scores are counting. So you have to, following a fall, you really want to be as close to perfect as possible to minimize the damage that fall does to your overall score. And Evgeny and Crew definitely just did that for the Wolverines. And then last up, we have Emery Dodanley. Seeing him again here. He's not consistently in the P-bar lineups for the Sooners, but when he is, he scores very well. He's capable of scoring as high as a 14-3, which he did a couple weeks ago. And I know they would like to keep that momentum going after Fuzzy Bennis's huge 14-3-5. So he's definitely capable of matching that. If not, maybe getting a career high, scoring even better.
Final contender, over the home on the parallel bar, Emery Dodanley.
Emery mounting with a nice Hamna element, as we've seen a couple times before. Very nice Healy. Just a couple handstand checks, little arm bends here and there. Very nice Peach and Giant. There's a Dion 1 1/4 and goes outside the bars. When you go outside the bars like that, you have to do usually a straddle or pike press to get back up into the middle. Did that very nice. And finishes with a nice double front half. Just a hop forward there. But a solid set from Emery to finish off the Sooners on P-bars.
We're still waiting for those last 2 scores, but overall, that was a great rotation for both teams. You know, one fall on each side, so almost cancels each other out there. But the other routines were great. Great scores. I know the Sooners are really happy about that rotation, especially going into high bar where they are ranked number 1. They'll definitely carry that momentum over here. Looking for some big hits from them and the Wolverines.
Yeah, 14.95 from Crew Bold. What a score. 69.95 for the Wolverines on P-bars.
And a career high for Crew.
Still waiting on Dodanley's score. And a 13.6 from Emery. Oklahoma finishing with a 67.3 on P-bars.
Oklahoma
We're going into the final rotation now on high bar, and Michigan's got exactly a 9-point lead on Oklahoma. And so if Oklahoma's going to make this one close, they got to expect a couple falls from Michigan. They also got to hit all of their routines.
They have 3 guys ranked in the top 10 on this event. So they're definitely capable of, meet's not over, they're definitely capable of pulling back into this competition. We're also seeing some newer faces in the Michigan high bar lineup, not quite as experienced. So we'll see what both teams are able to do here. We'll be starting off with the Sooners, with Brigham Friendaway. Now he's a great leadoff competitor for them. He doesn't have a super high start value, at least not in their lineup. That being said, he is uber consistent. So far this year, he's scored 13.35 plus on all but one routine he's competed. So he's definitely a great guy to start off the rotation for the Sooners.
And this is where the consistency matters, right here, this final event on high bar. If you miss the bar on a release, you're off, and you probably won't repeat the release element just for the risk of it. I mean, you're risking a potentially score of an 11 rather than a 13 or a 14. And so high bar can be the area in which a lot of leads go to die.
Can make or break you.
Mounts with a one-arm giant. Very nice layout to Tkachev over the bar. Very nice pike to Tkachev. There's a straddle to Tkachev connected to a Ginger. I was wondering how he was going to get that third Tkachev in there, as you can only do 2 Tkachevs by themselves, but he connected it to the Ginger, and therefore he can do a third Tkachev.
You don't see that very often.
No, very unique connection. And a stick and a great routine for Friendaway.
What a dynamic swinger, too. I mean, aggressive on all those skills he was doing.
Super aggressive. What a great way to start for the Sooners.
Starting off the Wolverines, we have sophomore Robert Knoll. And as I said earlier, we are seeing some faces in this high bar lineup that we aren't generally accustomed to seeing. Rob has been in the lineup a couple times here and there, but when he is, he hits. So he is definitely making a claim to be in that end of season NCAA lineup with his consistency here.
Rob starts out with a nice Takamoto half. Very nice layout to Tkachev. A little bit far from the bar. A little scary there. Oh, it just misses the Kovacs.
I jinxed him.
He's a little late on that Kovacs tap. And just pulled himself over the bar a little bit too much. And this is what we were just talking about. Now he's got to figure out if he's going to repeat the skill. Most likely not, since he already got credit for a release with the layout to Tkachev. But he's got to be near perfect to salvage a good score here. straddle Tkachev there. Puts himself back on the bar. Nice jam to handstand. Into the L grip and the Russian giant. And a big step forward on that dismount. Very clean throughout the routine with the exception of the miss on the Kovacs. Obviously not the best way for the Wolverines to start this last event.
Up second for the Sooners, we have Fuzzy Bennis. Wasn't slated to do high bar today, so they must have changed the lineup here. He's great at this event, just like he is across the board. So looking to follow up Brigham's 13-9. Great score as a leadoff.
Starts off with a nice Yamawaki over the bar. Winds up for a huge Casina. Slaps it on the bar. And another Coleman. Casina in the tuck position. Very nice. Very nice Quast and Robalco elements. Full spins and 1.5 spins over the bar. He's winding up for the dismount now. And a stick. And another slammed set from the Sooners. What a great set.
Great
from Fuzzy.
routine. Man, the Sooners are looking to come back, and it is not easy being ranked #1 in the country. You are the enemy to everyone. So everywhere you go, you have a target on your back. Everyone wants to beat you. So it's definitely hard going and competing away, not having a great rotation, and trying to come back from almost a 7-point deficit. But they're doing great so far. Second up for the Wolverines, we have sophomore Eric Ho. He's another one who's a little bit new to this lineup, but he's been hitting consistently. Scored a career high a few weeks back of a 13-4. They could use that right now.
Eric's got very clean lines here. Gonna start out with some Tkachev elements. Very nice layout. Very nice straddle Tkachev. I believe he was trying to do a pike Tkachev, connected out of it, but not today. Nice jam to handstand. And an L grip endo. Along with another standard endo. And now just has to wind up for the dismount. And a beautiful dismount there, just one step back, but a great hit for the Wolverines. Way to get them back on track.
Third up for the Sooners, we have Kelton Christensen. He's ranked #2 in the nation on this event, just right behind Fred Richard, who we'll see anchoring the Wolverines. He's capable of scoring as high as a 14-7, which he did a few weeks back against Cal. Definitely looking to carry that momentum from Fuzzy's 14.05, another great score for the Sooners.
He's going to start out here with a huge release. Oh, and he just misses it. That was a Winkler element. It's a laid out Jaeger with a full twist. And that's the first time I've seen him miss that. An uncharacteristic mistake there.
Looks like he may have thought he tugged on the bar a little bit and didn't really try to reach the bar. Which made him slip up a little bit, not get the dowel quite over the bar. He has a 5-2 start, but falling on that, we'll see if he repeats it here. I don't think he might. We'll see.
It's hard to say. He doesn't have a release yet that he's caught, so he's going to need something. And he does just the layout Jaeger. Struggles a bit to get up there. Beautiful jam to handstand. I mean, that's zero deduction. Beautiful Takamoto half to handstand. Just gonna finish this routine up now. And a beautiful dismount there with the stick. That's one thing about these Oklahoma Sooners, they always stick. 3 sticks now.
Great finish for him. Next up for the Wolverines, we're seeing Rithik Puri again. He scored as high as a 14-0 on this event. A little bit of a newer event for him to be seen in the lineup, but he has been seen to compete in this group so far this season pretty regularly. So definitely another good person to follow. Not a great start, but he's willing. He will be able to carry that momentum from Eric's 13.45, which is a career high for him. So
Rithik's been tinkering with his high bar routine lately. He used to have a Casina element, one of the hardest, if not the hardest, release move in the book on high bar. Had a fall on that Casina element a couple weeks ago. Went back to the drawing board, added some of his older releases, and hit a good routine at the Winter Cup last weekend, and this is the routine that he's going to do. Very nice Yamawaki to start. Oh, and doesn't make up the endo. Luckily he got that release put on the bar. But another fall for the Wolverines.
this has been a pretty flat rotation so far. Normally high bar is dynamic, gets the crowd into it, but we've seen a couple mistakes from both sides. So they really want to make this meet interesting.
Now gets that endo back up to handstand. Does a Takamoto half, little low there. Nice, Coleman puts it on the bar. Has one more Kovacs. Very nice, just a little bent arms out of the giant. The scary part is over though. It's a nice flying giant there. Just the dismount. And a nice stick to finish for Rithik. Those sticks are critical after a fall.
Next up for the Sooners, we have 5th year Jack Freeman, and he's ranked number 5 on this event. So he's very capable of hitting, hit a great routine last weekend at Winter Cup on this event. And he's a leader for this Sooner team. You can see him out there on the floor. Even after those couple tough rotations they had, he's pulling the guys together, getting them fired up. And you can tell the impact that he really has on this team.
Jack starting off with a nice Takamoto half. Slaps on to Coleman. Beautiful layout to Kachev. Another straddle to Kachev, connected to the pike to Kachev. Whole lot of releases in this routine. Slams the jam to handstand. Beautiful inverted giants. And now just the dismount. And he slams the stick.
Four for four.
4 for 4 sticks for the Sooners on high bar. And an absolutely electric routine from Jack Freeman.
I like how he didn't play it safe too. It can be easy to play it safe when you're trying to come back from behind, but man, he threw out every single release in the book almost with that routine. Great way to cap off his day for the Sooners. And we're seeing Evgeny Semeniuk again for the Wolverines. He's also great on this event. Super clean. Has some unique skills in there called German Giants that you don't see from a lot of people, and he does them very, very well. Capable of scoring as high as a 14-4 here.
And this is a must-hit routine for the Wolverines. Got to get back on track. Beautiful Takamoto full. Now Takamoto half a little late there. Slaps on the layout to Kachev. And here are those German Giants. Beautiful over the bar. And it almost came out the backside on that Stalder, but he's going to wind up into the dismount. And slams the stick. He needed to do it, and he did it. An incredible routine from Evgeny.
They're all fired up for that one, as they should be. They needed that. Last up in this stacked OU lineup, we have Emery Dodanley, who's ranked number 6 in the country on this event. He's capable of scoring big here too, as high as a 14-1-5 this season. He's had a great day so far, so he's definitely looking to cap off his day with that 5th Sooner stick.
And a huge 14.3 for Jack Freeman on that previous set. 9-0 execution. Flawless.
Final competitor for Oklahoma on the high bar, Emery Dodanley.
Emery starting off with a nice tuck half. He's going to wind up into a huge release here. A huge casino, puts it on the bar. Very nice Coleman. He's going to bounce into a straddle to Kachev. Nicely done. It's the pike to Kachev. Another high-flying routine. Just a few long hang elements. He's got to get in there. A nice Rebalco there. Now he's going to wind up into the dismount. And just a slight hop forward. Didn't get that fifth Oklahoma stick, but nevertheless a great routine from Emery.
Incredibly difficult.
And that's going to be the last routine for the Sooners today, with the exception of the fall from Christensen. A great high bar rotation to finish out the meet for them.
Definitely. And last up, we have reigning NCAA champion Fred Richard. This guy's a trickster on this event. You kind of don't really know what he's going to do today. He has multiple tricks up his sleeve. It's a matter of what he wants to put on today. He is capable of scoring 14-9, which he has done in the past. And he's just incredible on this event. Made it to World Championships this past fall. Put on incredible routines, especially on this event for the team. Looking to see that here.
Fred also has one of the highest flying routines in the NCAA. Just like that, the beautiful Cassina. And a nice Coleman.
I love how he flares out his releases.
And a beautiful Luke and a layout Tkachev with a full twist. Beautiful straddle Tkachev connected to a pike Tkachev. And a quas to one-arm giant. And a late free hip, hilariously. And destroys the landing to seal off the win for the Wolverines. What a routine.
Dare I say, that might be a career high for Fred right there. That was incredible. And he pulled out all the tricks for that routine.
Could go 15. It could. That low free hip, though, might get him.
I know. Sometimes it's the easiest skills that do you in like that. The guys are fired up right now. As I said before, Oklahoma has a target on their back, being ranked #1. So these meets like this are good learning opportunities from them, and they definitely came back on high bar with a great rotation after a disastrous still rings rotation, which is the sign of a championship team. So it's definitely a good learning opportunity for them, and I know they'll carry that into the postseason.
Oklahoma finishing with a 409.15. Obviously not the day that they wanted to have today, but nevertheless, as Abby said, they came back with a great performance on high bar and P bars, respectively. Just waiting on Fred Richards' score for the Wolverines, but the Wolverines will indefinitely come out on top. And a 14.85 for the Wolverines to seal the win. Wolverines get a 416.3. And Oklahoma with a 409.25. Overall, great competition. Going back and forth. We will be finishing up the awards now. But thank you for tuning into the broadcast. We're signing off now.
As always, go blue.
Go blue.